Well, hello everyone, and welcome to my first bullet journal podcast. Today, I am going to be doing my February monthly setup, and I'm probably going to be talking about the topic of obsession, but I may be going off on tangents every once in a while because I don't know how to talk for in like a straight line. Like whenever I talk, it's like one of those like trees that just branches out at every single freaking point. I got my iced coffee, and warning, this will probably not be very chill vibes, but I'm gonna try and make it entertaining. We're gonna start. I am doing a crystal theme. I'm not very much into crystals, but like all of my friends are. I don't really get it, but I love it and I love like the idea of it. I just don't really know much about it, but I thought it'd be pretty. So the colors, I'm gonna be doing like a rainbow basically, just because I feel like crystals and gems, they kind of come in every single color. Let's get started. I am talking about obsession because I feel like it's a thing that many journalers could relate to. I mean, just because obsession leads to perfectionism, which I feel like is very probably closely tied to being a bullet journaler, right? Am I wrong? I don't think so. I don't think I'm ever wrong, but that's another thing. I have a very, very, very obsessive personality. So much so that it's like, it has basically dictated my life on almost every single decision I've made and every single thing that has occurred. When I look back and reflect on it, many things have happened purely because I'm just an obsessive person. And I wonder why I am this way. Because like my favorite class right now is psych. I'm very interested in human behavior and stuff. Because, obviously, like, it could be a genetic thing, it could be, like, an environment thing, but it's just very fascinating because also a lot of my friends that don't have, like, a very obsessive personality, they constantly, like, say, oh, but it's brought so much good for you. I'm like, yeah, but if you were an obsessive person, I'm not sure you'd like it that much, because while it can be a good thing, it can also be a very bad thing. But yeah, that is the topic for today. Okay, so I'm an actual Nimrod. I just realized I made a giant mistake and made all of these crystals red, and I really didn't mean to do that. I just apparently went on complete autopilot, but it's okay. What I'm going to do is just not make any of these red. I'm an idiot. So I just talked an entire section and realized I didn't press record. Okay, so let's talk about where my obsession started and how I first realized that I developed it. Oh wait, fuck. I just realized you have no idea what I'm doing. I moved on to my habit tracker, mood tracker, because it's bleeding through and that's really upsetting me, but we're gonna put it away and pretend that my eyes do not see it because that is my best solution. For mood tracker, each side I'm just gonna like color in with marker because I'm not gonna watercolor every single night. I'm gonna color in a different color, one of these. Habit tracker, I tracked 9 habits. My favorite one being clean room, because if I don't clean my room every single day or keep it clean every single day, then it is just going to turn into chaos. It's gonna look like a tornado went through my room and just wiped everything to the floor. Like literally, and if I try to clean it when it's in that state, then it's one of those rooms where it's like you find a shirt that you haven't seen in 5 years, and then all of a sudden you've put it on and you're trying it on, and then all of a sudden you are strutting in front of a bunch of fake and pretend people, and then you never end up cleaning your room. That is the reason I need to be cleaning my room every single day, because that cannot happen, because that is horrible and I can't be productive in a messy room. Let's talk about obsession again. Okay, so I first realized that I was a very obsessive person, probably, in 7th grade when I became obsessed with the band Queen. I've always been very into old music, right? It's always been something that I've taken a particular joy in it. And it's probably been my favorite kind of music for a long time. In 7th grade, I became infatuated. I don't even know if that's the right word to use, but I'm gonna use it because with the band Queen. And instead of over spring break, instead of being social and hanging out with my friends or even with my family, I would sit in my room every single day for hours on end, listening through their entire discography, is that the word? Of songs, reading the Wikipedia articles on each song, each album, putting all the songs on a Google document and rating each song according to how much I liked it. I thought this was like a perfectly normal person thing to do, and then I found out it wasn't. But I became obsessed with Queen. It consumed my life. Like literally, like anytime anyone said a lyric that was in a Queen song, I would immediately belt out that song. And I had no filter. I could not, I mean, I have no filter, period. But that combined with being an obsessive person really did not help me out. Let's ignore that I've completely fucked up this crystal and that it's completely bled through. Let's ignore the fact that this is going to hell and that this is all going to shit. Because it's for fun here, right? I may be a perfectionist, but I'm not gonna let that ruin my fun. Oh shit, oh my god, I am... Anyway, I completely became obsessed with the band Queen. And I didn't realize that the level to which I become obsessed with things wasn't normal until I was talking to my friends about it, and they're like, yeah, literally no one would sit for like 7 hours a day for an entire week and listen to their discography. Literally no one would do that. But now I have a bunch of random freaking facts about Queen in my head, right? And it comes back every once in a while. But with obsessions, they have many pros and cons, but with quarantine, I'd say kind of a nice thing to have because it gives you something to do, that's for sure. Because at the beginning of quarantine, my brain decided to get hooked on Marvel movies. And so every single day I would go and I would watch a Marvel movie, and I watched it all in order. And after I watched a Marvel movie, I would read the Wikipedia articles, I'd read about the cast, I'd read, you know, everything that I needed to know. And once I finished a series, I could not cope with it. And I watched all the behind the scenes and, you know, I went to town. But the thing about obsessions is once your brain is done with it, your brain is done with it. Like there's the WandaVision show right now. I have no interest in watching it. Literally not a single part of me is like, oh yeah, let me sit down and watch WandaVision, because I have a different obsession now. Let's talk about that. Because currently I am obsessed with Minecraft, and specifically the Dream SMP. If you know what I'm talking about, shout out to you. It is basically a Minecraft server where they roleplay, but they have like an entire plot. It's like a Netflix show. It is absolutely insane. But like my brain is so hooked on that I cannot watch a single other thing. Like before that, I was obsessed with Criminal Minds, and I tried to watch Criminal Minds the other day, and my mind was just like, no, this is not entertaining, even though I love that show. But my brain was just like, no, you don't like this as much. I was like, what the freak? It's kind of an issue. Like having an obsession is kind of an issue because it's something where it's always going to be in the back of your mind no matter what you do. You could literally, like whenever something that is remotely close to your obsession happens in real life, your brain is immediately like, oh yeah, let's bring it up. And it's horrible. It's honestly horrible. Like, for example, if you are into Minecraft like me, and specifically the Dream SMP, I was talking to a random dude the other day, and he was British, and he said in it, and my mind immediately went to Tommy in it. So I can't socialize like a normal person anymore. I have lost that skill because I'm obsessed. And it sucks so bad when you don't know anyone who is also obsessed with the same thing. Like none of my friends are obsessive to the degree that I am. So I'm just left kind of in the dark a lot of the time, right? Kind of being like, can someone talk about this? Like literally I prepared and gave an entire hour-long presentation on a Dream SMP to my friends. Bless them for sitting through it. I love them. I love my friends so much. But like, they're not into it, right? And so it's like, if I want to talk about it, I always have to be like, I always feel so guilty because it's like, I know that this isn't interesting for you. but I just have to get it out. And they kind of understand that, right? But it's like, I feel bad a lot of the time because it's like, I know that you don't want to be hearing about this. I know that you literally know nothing about this and that you're kind of confused as to what I'm talking about. I'm gonna cry. I'm literally gonna have a mental fucking breakdown. Oh my god. Okay, no, I actually won't. I mean, I literally may later. We'll see how the rest of the day goes. But this is not going well. It looks like shit. At least, like, it's never like I'm gonna be like hanging out on the cover page. And I may edit that out when I post the picture on Instagram. We are going to go back and do... Oh, this is literally so upsetting to me. This is so fucking upsetting to me. I know why it happened. It is completely my fault. Let's talk about just the pros and cons of obsession, right? I mean, first pro, I think it's like, there's nothing like indulging in an obsession. It is just such a beautiful and like satisfactory thing, right? It's like true like euphoria. It's probably the best way to describe it, honestly, right? Like after a long day, when I get to go home and just watch Minecraft, it is like I get so excited to do it, and it is just like pure joy, right? But I personally think, oh well, actually another pro is like, just I think it's closely related, but it's not like hand in hand, right? Is being a perfectionist has its pros, right? Obviously, like I feel like when you're a perfectionist, you're gonna be a lot more likely to succeed in things in general. Like for example, school, you know, like a lot of my friends wish that they were perfectionists like me because then they would do better in school, right? But I would also argue that sometimes the toll on mental health is not worth it. But I believe that there are a lot more cons to being a perfectionist, in my opinion. First of which being, you can't think about anything else. And it's hard to not think about anything else. And even if you want to, right? Like, I would love if my brain just stopped thinking about Minecraft. So that I could do things like a normal freaking person and exist like a normal freaking person. Because it's something that it's like, I can't go to sleep some nights because I'm like so excited about what's about to happen in Minecraft, right? And that sounds so lame, but for my obsessive people, you're gonna it's horrible. And like, even like, when it's with a song, it's so bad because it is just on loop in your head for, it seems like years. And especially like with me, I'm a dancer, right? So when I get a song stuck in my head, there's only one thing that can cure that, and it is like choreographing a dance to it. And so I have to spend quite a long time in my room just choreographing a dance so I can get a stupid song out of my head. Because like when a song is stuck in your head, it is like, you can't sleep. Like literally, the most recent song I had like just constantly in my head was I Found a Way, the Drake and Josh theme song. And now that I mention it, it's just gonna be haunting me. It was on my head. Why do I keep saying on my head? That's literally not a thing that people say. But it was on my mind for so long that like literally I would like lay awake at night with Drake and Josh freaking like haunting me. Like it was like they were ghosts in my room just constantly being, it's gonna take some time to realign. Another con is just like, I mean, it may be just me who does this, but like I literally skip out on social events to deal with my obsession. And it's such an issue. Like the amount of times that like I'm hanging out with my friends and I'm like, and I see like a notification on my phone that's like, oh, blank went live. And I'm just like, sorry, gotta go. I'm like, I have to go home. And my friends are like, you are not going home to watch Minecraft. I'm like, see, I am. Because the thing is it's better that way. Because if I were to stay there while blank is live, my mind isn't there. I am completely absent, right? I am only thinking about what I'm missing out. It's FOMO, but to the weirdest degree because you're missing out on something that you shouldn't care about missing out on. Like the other day, I found out something that had to do with my obsession, and I freaked out. I literally freaked out. And my friend looks at me and she goes, sometimes I wish that I was like an obsessive person like you so that I could feel the excitement that you get when something like this happens. I'm like, see, that is probably my favorite part, is just like being able to feel that pure joy. But it is not worth it, because also you can spend forever dealing with your obsession, but at the end of the day, you feel horrible. Like, for example, like with my queen obsession, because like when you spend hours and hours like coping essentially with your obsession, you look at how much time you just wasted and it is so disappointing. You're just like, I really just did that. Like I would sit for hours and I would watch like Queen funny moments of just like the band, right, being goofballs. And I'd look and I'd be like, I just wasted 3 hours of my life doing absolutely jack shit. Especially because like I had already been obsessed. I had already seen all of these videos, but still here I was sitting doing absolutely nothing with my life, right? And I mean, I learned about this in psych, because there's no real intrinsic reward, right? Sometimes there is, like, it's a trade-off. Like, if I would have just spent, like, maybe an hour, like, dealing with my obsession and coping with it and having a good laugh or two, that would have been fine. But no, it, like, consumed my entire day. Once again, I would like to point out again, I am not the best at this. I just, you know, at the end of the day, with bullet journaling, it's all for fun, and it's all what you make of it. Like, a lot of my friends are like, oh, I couldn't do it because I'm not good at it. I'm like, I'm not good at it either. But it's so good for me, and it's like so nice to have something to do. And it gets you in a productive mood. Like, after this, I feel like I could probably go and sit down and do homework, right? It gets you in a productive mood. But I actually turned on the camera to point out, February, you will never catch me saying February, because there is an R right there, okay? That R deserves to be seen. That R is the friend in the friend group that was added a little late, you know, maybe was friends with one person and just got carried in, doesn't really mesh well with everyone else, and no one really thinks that they mesh well. Even the R knows that it shouldn't be there. But if you're E and you fit in really well, you don't want to be mean. You want to be nice to the R. The R just wants love and appreciation, and you should give it to that R and not ignore it. Because if you say February, you are ignoring that R, and you are making that R sad. Say February, because that is the correct way to say it. God damn it. Okay, so I would now like to speak about how easy I think it is to have or to be an obsessive person in this day and age. Because when you're an obsessive person and it starts consuming your life, with the way that media is right now, it just feeds your obsession, okay? Like, for example, with my Minecraft, the second I started even slightly, like before I would even say I was obsessed, my TikTok For You page was all Minecraft. And it's insane how that happens. Like, well, I mean, kind of uncomfy, right? Because it's like, how did you find out? But it's like, phones, right? But like, it was feeding my obsession before it had even gotten to that point. And so when you are just constantly fed like media and clips and everything that has to do with your potential obsession, it is just going to feed into it, right? And it's going to develop it further. I just want you all to know how many times I make a mistake during this, because it is just very interesting to me how genuinely worse I am when I'm on camera. This is supposed to say clean room in this space, and I just went clean. That makes sense, like for a habit to be clean. Clean. And it is time for the final reveal. Yes, it looks like dog shit. Yes, I am not happy with it. But to stay on topic, I'm gonna let this be a practice in not being such a harsh perfectionist. Because, you know, it doesn't have to be perfect. Bullet journals don't have to be super well done and super amazing, and, you know, because in the end, like, I had so much fun doing this. I had so much fun just talking and, like, letting myself ramble, right? Because I just think that's a good lesson. Because just because things didn't go my way doesn't mean that I shouldn't be happy with it and proud of what I've done. So that is gonna be the end of today's bullet journal podcast number 1. Yes, it was a little scuffed, but it was my first time. To be on topic, if you're an obsessive person, or if you're not and you've had obsessions before though, feel free to leave them in the comments. I want to know, because I've had so many obsessions that I didn't even talk about, and I think it's fun to find people with, you know, common interests. So leave them in whichever way I'm pointing, leave that in the comments. And yeah, have an amazing day and have fun bullet journaling.